Storytelling has been a part of human culture for as long as there has been human culture. And composers are part of that tradition. They don't use words the way that authors do, but they are able to convey the same elements of a narrative that an author can. We've seen how composers can create a sense of character by giving a particular theme to an instrument or group of instruments that suggest that character's presence. We've seen how composers can put us in the mindset of a particular location, a setting. And they can do that sometimes through the speed of the music that they write, or perhaps the characteristic rhythms that they use, which sometimes remind us of a dance like we heard in Mambo. Other times we might just hear calming, soothing melodies, perhaps, like we heard in the Rossini William Tell excerpt, that make us feel calm and relaxed. And we also know that composers can let us know where we are in the narrative arc of a story, where we are in terms of the plot, the beginning, the middle, or the end, sometimes by giving us clues, something in the music that sounds like something in real life, whether it's the clock striking 12 at the beginning of Danse Macabre, or the rooster crowing toward the end, or the skeleton dance, which we heard imitated by the sound of the xylophones. So now that we have been through this exploration together, we're going to share with you one more piece of music that kind of brings everything to a summation. Now, rather than tell you too much about this piece or this story, I want you to just kind of approach it with an open mind and with wide open ears. So I will tell you a little bit. The composer was a Frenchman named Hector Berlioz, and he very much wanted to tell a story in this work. In fact, he so much wanted to that he actually did write it down and provided the story on a piece of paper to people who were attending the very first performance. But rather than tell you what he had in mind, I'd like you to kind of use your own imagination and come up with your own ideas. Now, you will hear some themes that might make you think of a character or maybe several different characters. So I want you to imagine what that person or persons or animal might be as you listen to this. It, of course, takes place in some kind of setting. I will give you one clue. There is, at one point, a series of chimes that we hear, a bell, perhaps from a distant village or a church, which sounds like this. Later on, there is a passage in which the violins in the orchestra play with the backs of their bows, which is to say the wooden part, and it produces a brittle, almost cackling kind of laughter. At least that's the way I think of it. And that passage sounds like this. So those are a couple of clues as to where this story might be taking place and what might be happening during it. But the rest is up to you to fill in with your imagination. So listen to this piece and think about those things. And in fact, I would like you to write it down. Once you've listened to the piece once or twice or maybe 3 times, write down what you think this piece might be about. Who is involved? Where is it taking place? What is happening? Send this to us at the Pennsylvania Philharmonic. We want to know what you hear in your listening to this piece. I want you to know what you imagine in your mind's eye as you hear this piece. I will tell you it's called the Fantasy Symphony, the Symphonie Fantastique by French composer Hector Berlioz, our last piece of our Stories and Legends program for you. Thank you so much for listening.